I think in Australia we have the most amazing mud crab, and when they're in season, there's nothing I like more than cooking mud crab curry. This recipe is super simple. I don't have loads and loads of different spices. I just use a classic curry powder and it works a treat. So first we need to get the Holy Trinity on. This is what I like to call it, for garlic, onions and some ginger. I've got a hot stew pot on, so I've been preheating it, and you want to use a stew pot just like this because it's got high sides, and that means we're going to get a nice amount of sauce in there to coat all of the crab. So a glug of extra virgin olive oil, and in with our onions along with the ginger, and I'm just going to mince the ginger in here. I like a good amount of ginger. I just think the freshness of it goes so nicely with mud crab. And we'll just finely mince that. Just tap that on the side. Along with some garlic, so 2 cloves of garlic that have been chopped. And we'll just give our stew pot a bit of a toss. And we'll just let that cook just slightly. Now let's have a look at the crab here. This is a gorgeous 1 kilo crab, and I have placed it in the freezer just for an hour or so until it goes to sleep, and I've cut it in 4. So I've also kept the head. You'll see in the head that there's some tamale. That is flavour, so we're going to remove that and add to the curry. Also, you'll see there's nothing in the head, but I still will cook this because it's fantastic for presentation. I have just broken the gorgeous claws because all the meat is inside. So we've got 4 pieces. This is enough for 2 very hungry people, or if you like to share crab, for 4. So we've got some lovely caramelisation on our onions. It's non-stick, which also is a great advantage for when you're cooking onions. And now in with our curry powder. So depending on how much you like, you can add 1 to 2 teaspoons. So I'm going to add 1, 2. Okay. We want this to toast off just for a moment because it is already ground and that stew pot is hot. It just needs a moment. Once it starts to become quite aromatic, it's ready. In with our coconut milk. So we want about 400 mils. 1 and a half. And I like to add a splash of water too. Just a little bit of water. Clean out the can, pour that in. And this now needs to come to the boil. I haven't added any salt yet because the crab may be salty, so we'll just taste at the end. But our aim here is to really thicken up this sauce because the crab is going to give off a little liquid too. So we want that sauce to coat it. So we'll bring that to the boil. That's thickened up so we can get our crab in. Now, there is an order in putting in the crab. I always like to add the claws. You can see that they're the thickest part, so they need more cooking. So in they go, and we'll just layer it up. So pop them in, making sure that claw is submerged. And then our last 2 little pieces can go in. Before I add the top, we just want to coat everything in that gorgeous thick sauce. And what I love about cooking mud crab is just watching it change colour. It goes a bright red colour, and that's a good indication that it's almost cooked. So I'll just add the head now, and just using a spoon, just scrape out the tamale. This is the best part of it. Don't waste it. It is going to give the sauce another dimension. So we'll just scrape that in, mix it in, and then in with the head. Okay. The lid can go on. It's going to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. It really depends on how large your crab is. You want to turn it halfway so it's cooked evenly all over. Can't wait for this one. Crab's cooked, so I've just made a really quick sambal to go with it. It's a combination of tomato, desiccated coconut, just to keep with that coconut theme. I've got some lime zest and juice, salt. I'm just tearing up some fresh mint. This is a really nice sambal to go on the side of the crab. So the idea here is to take the crab to the table, allow everyone to help themselves, and just place a spoonful of the sambal on top. And you've got to serve this with rice because there will be lots of sauce. All right, the big reveal. Let's have a look at this beauty. Oh, That is just stunning. See how it's changed colour? The sauce is thick, it's just right. So we'll take that little top out and let's start with the claws. Look at that. I can feel how heavy it is. And if it's heavy, it's a really good sign of a good quality crab full of meat. Next, I'll take the two bases, we'll pop them in, and the claw, we really want to show that off. So pop that on the top with the head. And this sauce, just give your stew pot a swirl. See how thick and rich it is. We just want to pour that around the crab. That right there is a thing of beauty. And remember, whenever you're eating mud crab, make sure you wear a bib because it's going to be messy, but it's totally worth it.